Hi everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome. I am really excited to talk to you today about this. Been thinking about this a lot and just downloading a lot around where we are and what is in store for us and how we can, as intuitive entrepreneurs whose businesses are a reflection of our soul's work, how we can navigate through this and how we can raise our own consciousness to rise into this new world of entrepreneurship. And I wanted to talk today about the soul essentials for intuitive entrepreneurship. And hi Joanna, so nice to see you. I was thinking about you this morning actually. And say hello if you're watching and let me know where you are. And it's morning here not morning, it's noon here for me, so midday. And it's a beautiful sunny day, actually. Sky is blue and our temperatures are around 14 right now. And we're supposed to head into the 20s on the weekend. So we're pretty excited about that. Hi, Jorna, how are you? And I'm really glad that you're joining today. And whoever joins today, feel free to please let me know as we move through this what is resonating for you, if you're having any questions or comments. And if you're watching the replay, you can hashtag replay later and jump in for sure. Hi Becky, hi Carrie, nice to see you. Hello. Question mark and exclamation mark. All right. So I'm feeling the exclamation mark today because I'm pretty excited about sharing this. And this has just really been bubbling for the last couple of weeks in me. And I feel that as intuitives, as creatives, that it's really, really important for us to listen to those bubble ups and pay attention and really listen and hear the messages that are coming through. Through that higher consciousness, through the divine intelligence that really has so much for us. So I wanted to get started. I'll get started, and this is really for you. As I said, if your business is a reflection, a representation, an expression of your deeper soul's work, if your life's work is translating into your business and is really truly an expression of who you are and the essence of who you are, then this is for you. This is new world. In this new world, as we move into this new world, we're moving into this new world as intuitives, as creatives. And if we are creatives and intuitives and we don't pay attention to this, we're going to feel it. We're going to feel that gap. We're going to feel that there's something missing and be unable to really grasp it. So whether you have an already established business, whether your already established business is successful, aka in money terms, and you've reaped benefits in your business over time, monetary benefits, and yet there's still something missing. There's still this, I'm gonna say, even stretch to say gaping hole of unrealized potential. That is because there are many reasons for that. And what I'm going to talk about today is going to help you to better understand what it is that has been missing and how you can move forward and what to do about it as a soul-led entrepreneur. You might be a first-time entrepreneur. You might have some ideas bubbling in you about a business that you haven't yet started, that you haven't yet launched. You might be in a job that you've either been laid off from or that you're transitioning out of, and you're really thinking about how to turn your gifts into an adventure of entrepreneurship. And I say adventure because it is a huge adventure, and it's really requires that you move carefully and diligently forward in answer to your soul's calling. So hi Monique, nice to see you. So it really is, for you, if you're looking at this through the lens of wanting to really like collect and gather your life's experience capital and your soul's capital, and bring it forward into a way that is going to really be in service to the world, in the interest of contributing to a better planet, because we're in this space and time right now that we are really being faced with something we've never been faced with before, and it's huge, right? This is huge and impacting so many people in so many different ways. And I want to lay a context here for what I'm going to talk about in terms of I've spent time doing some writing, and there are 10 essentials that I see that are really, really important to bring forward in ourselves as we move forward in this time. And I want to lay context down before I talk about that around what I believe, and what I believe this pandemic is bringing to us, what I believe has led to this. And it's not written in stone. Obviously, we all have our own beliefs, and I just want to share my belief around this, because this to me is the context from which I operate and the context from which I have faith to move forward with. And the context that I'm talking about is I really, really believe that this pandemic is a huge wake-up call for us to level up in terms of rising into a new level of consciousness in ourselves, and therefore connect that and bring that forward in the next new world, in the next level of consciousness that this planet is really, really, really yearning for. And I feel like, and I believe that the planet is a mirror for us, and that the fact that there was just excuse me, the fact that there was just so much, even if you look at the level of pollution and how that shifted and changed in the last 4 weeks, it's incredible, right? So the level of pollution that existed before outwardly in the planet was also the level of pollution that has existed in us as humans, in terms of living in this low frequency fear-based place. And that is the premise from which I believe we are meant to be learning from, and this is the context from which I am holding my vision for a better planet. And as the pollution lifts externally, the pollution is lifting internally for us as well, and it's really time and really essential. That's why there are these essentials, these essential pieces to take responsibility as we move into this new world. And these are soul essentials for us as entrepreneurs and leaders. So yes, adventure is one of my words on my list of core desires and values. Yeah, same here, actually. It's amazing how life is just an adventure, and consciousness is an adventure. And so I'm just going to jump in. So these essentials, these 10 essentials, aren't in any particular order. However, they've just kind of streamed through in this order. So, and I want to just invite you to just receive whatever is meant to be received by you. And let me know as we move through what's resonating with you. And so, essential number 1 is letting go of the old world paradigm of how entrepreneurs have been doing business and how business has been conducted on this planet. And what I mean by that is, the whole world of marketing has been based for so many years on the fear of missing out, on, you're not enough, so I need to market this product or service to you in order to make you feel enough. So you need to look outside yourself in order to consume this thing so that you can feel enough, smart enough, pretty enough, creative enough, savvy enough, rich enough. And so marketing, the premise of marketing has been based for so many years on not enoughness, on fear of missing out, on and this came up yesterday actually in my group, and I've been sitting with it, is the premise of marketing in the old world paradigm, or the current paradigm that's shifting, has been based on self first, soul second. And when those words kind of rolled out, I just felt the potency of that, where we were and have been conditioned and taught to put our soul and to put our essence second, and to self first, and to make sure that, and here's an example of what I mean by that, is even when we look at the idea of market research, and being taught by professional business gurus and being given advice around, you need to step back, you need to conduct market research before you put yourself out there. You need to find out what they need. You need to find out what's keeping people up at night. You need to glean all the information you can, so then you can mold your message and you can mold your offering to be able to accommodate what that is. And so, and even in this current, the current, word on the street is, well, pivot and adapt, so that you can adapt to whatever you discover people most need. And the message that is giving us is, we need to put our soul on the back burner, and we need to adapt what's really, really our genius gift, and what's really bubbling up in us. We need to put that on the back burner, and we need to adapt that to something external of ourselves. And that's the old marketing paradigm, where we're really, really looking outside ourselves. And I'm here to say that the new world, that the soul, one of the soul essentials here, and the new way of doing business and being an entrepreneur, is to put your soul first, and to really, really hone in on what your genius is, what your absolute deep down essence is, and bring that to the table. And then the service and the selling happens as a result of that, rather than sell first and then pay attention to your soul later. And that's what I believe has contributed greatly to a lot of successful, and I say that term loosely, entrepreneurs who've seen monetary gain, but they're still feeling that there's so much lack. There's this unrealized, potential. There's this hole inside of them that they can't understand how to fill, and they keep trying to fill it with more programs, more money, more systems, more modules, more methods, and they're missing the key essential ingredient of really looking within and looking at their soul and bringing their soul forward first and foremost. And this pandemic is actually calling us to stop and look within and look into our souls, and to really investigate and examine what we're running from, And so when in keeping with the idea of the impact and the external environment that the pandemic is causing out here, and mirroring that inwardly, if we're being told to stop and look within, then we need to be stopping and looking within, and starting from within, and operating and living and working from within. So that's essential number one, is really, really letting go of old paradigms. And that I see is going to be a transition for a lot of people, because we've been conditioned for a really long time to follow a very specific business model. And, this model has encouraged us to look outwardly, to look at, a system over here, or a funnel over here that this person used and, had a lot of success with. And therefore, it must be something that's going to work for us. And, the missing piece here is that just because it works for somebody else doesn't mean it's going to work for us, because guess what? We're all wired entirely differently, and we all have a different blueprint and set of internal essential genius nuggets inside of us. And so, that forever chase, that old paradigm of forever chasing is something that we need to let go of. And that is a work in itself, of letting go of all the different layers as they arise. Every time you're scrolling through your Facebook or whatever platform you're on, and you're seeing something shiny and you're attracted to that shiny thing, it pulls you out of that soul essential that's inside of you. Number 2 is there's this rising and increasing greater need to really unlock our genius. And when I say unlock that genius, we all have that genius inside of us that is this golden nugget that is our come from place. It's our soul magic. And when we can unlock that, because it's imprinted in our DNA, it's literally imprinted in us, when we can come in and turn within rather than looking out and being distracted and being sold the bill of goods that, the old way is the way. When we start looking in and we start really unlocking that genius within us, then we're able to come from that place of genius and offer something so unique to the world that has never previously existed before. And that is what creation is all about, right? Creation is the creation of something new that's never existed before. If it's existed before, it's not new. If you're mimicking or replicating somebody else's thing, it's not new. So it's really about unlocking your own genius. And that's something that I feel is integral to New World, soulful, intuitive entrepreneurship. Number 3, this actually leads to number 3, is growing your intuitive intelligence. And intuitive development is something that's so important right now more than ever, in light of what I've just said in numbers 1 and 2. And this isn't like a 10 secrets to success, or this isn't a written in stone model for anybody specifically, but what you can glean, what the pieces that really drop in and resonate for you are areas that you likely will want to be working on and want to be really paying attention to. And so developing intuitive intelligence is key here, because we have this higher, unseen, untouched, intangible intelligence, this intuition, right? We can't touch it, we can't see it, and we've been conditioned and trained not to trust our intuition, and we've been shown that intuition, aka our higher genius, aka our magic, isn't actually real. And when we start to really come back and return to the core of our intuitive knowing, that wisdom, that the voice of our soul that's speaking to us all the time, and we pair that with this external environment that's asking us to stop and pay attention and go within and really listen for that whisper of our soul, that's where the intuitive knowing and the intuitive wisdom arises and brings forth what it is that is next for you, and what it is that your genius has to say, and how it is that your genius wants to express in the world. And accessing your intuitive intelligence is an art, and it's something that we can actually learn to do intentionally. And there's so much to say about that. There's so much to say about accessing our intuition beyond just hearing the random hits that drop in. There are those, and understanding how our intuition arrives, and there's understanding how to listen to it, and there's understanding how to actually access it on demand. And so I feel that this is a really essential, soul essential for us as we move into this next stage of intuitive entrepreneurship so that we can make decisions in our businesses, and we can make decisions in our lives, and we can make choices, and we can, step forward intuitively, as opposed to by following somebody else's formula. So the more we develop our intuitive intelligence, the more charge we are taking, the more inner, and that's actually one of the soul essentials, is that inner leadership. The more we're taking ownership of really leveraging and giving rise to our own intuitive knowing that is not like anybody else's. It's unique to us, completely unique to us, and only us. Number 4 is that, and again, this is a reflection I see from the environment of this pandemic, is that we're being forced to stop. We're being forced to look within, and we're being forced and asked to, very powerfully asked, to look within at our deeper purpose. And entrepreneurship as an intuitive, a creative, and when our business is our soul's work, then it directly reflects our deeper purpose. And so really, really deepening your understanding of what your purpose is, what your mission is on this planet, what it is that you're here to contribute, what it is that you're here to provide in the interest of a more harmonious and peaceful and healthier planet. And that question, that almighty question of what is my purpose on this planet? Why am I here? That is this, it's been a question that people have asked for centuries, and philosophers have asked for centuries, and that we're being now called to ask more intentionally, and asking ourselves and listening to the intuitive answer within more intentionally, and intentionalizing a greater understanding, the desire for a greater understanding of purpose. And when we marry that greater purpose with the business that we create, or that we shift into, or that we cultivate and build, then it is a soul-aligned business. That is a reflection of our purpose on this planet. That is a reflection of our essence and the true genius that is here to be expressed. Because unexpressed purpose and unexpressed genius and unexpressed soul, the unexpressed voice of our soul is, if it remains suppressed, then the energy isn't flowing, because when we suppress anything, it blocks our energetic flow. And so we're really, really moving into a place of wanting and desiring and leading ourselves and others through our own mastery of energy flow, and continuously keeping the energy channel open. And when it shuts, or we get pulled out of ourselves, and our energy, our life force energy, gets pinched off, so does our creativity, so does our genius, and so does our connection with that purpose. So we're really moving into a place of understanding, considering our deeper mission and our deeper messaging as a result, and how we communicate our messaging, and who we're serving. What we're doing is we're communicating from the essence of our soul. And when we do that, those who are meant to work with us are going to gravitate towards us. They hear us. And so the call that I see here, that is parallel to the call that the planet is giving us right now, is to go into the under layers of our purpose and our essence, and stop skimming at the inner core, and really be looking. Oh, did I cut out? I'm not sure if I cut out or not. but really be moving into the inner core and under layers of our purpose and our mission here. And therefore, when we communicate what that is, our messaging becomes deeper messaging. And this is what, I mean, this is part of my gift is really getting to the root of the deeper messaging and the language of that deeper messaging to really get to the core. And you know, when someone writes something or says something and it just drops into your belly and it just goes boom, that's resonance, right? That's what the deeper messaging is all about. So going a layer deeper is what we're being called to do, or maybe 2 layers deeper or 5 layers deeper beneath what we thought we were here to do, and really examining like what's underneath that and how can we give rise to what's deep in our core is and if you know, let me know if this is resonating with you. Monique, no, I don't think you're answering no to that question, but yeah, let me know what's landing for you here, and how this applies to where you are right now. I'd love to know. Number 5 is soul essential is expanding our connection. She said, no, you didn't cut out. Okay, thank you. That's great. Yay, good. Expanding our connection with divine source. That higher connection with that higher source, with, you know, some people call it the divine, some people call it source, some people call it God, some people call it Allah, some people call it divine energy, some people call it higher intelligence. What that is, and the essence of what that is, really cultivating a connection and a relationship with that higher part of yourself, because that God, that divine, lives in you, and it's cultivating that relationship with that part of you that knows and that is capable of leading you and therefore others whom you serve and have impact on to the next level of consciousness and to the next level of you know, self realization and self actualization. Yes, resonating. No, you didn't cut out. Okay, great. Thanks. So, you know, when I think about this commitment to cultivating this relationship with the divine and with higher source, it really, you know, points to, for me, this is my experience of my own, you know, relationship building with the divine, is it always points me to surrender. It always points me to trusting something larger than myself. It always points me to being quiet enough to hear the voice of the divine and my higher knowing inside myself, and really trusting in the unknown, because again, it's an intangible essence that we are connecting with and to, that isn't, you know, we can't see it or touch it, and it's unknown. And so right now, especially again, when we look at the parallels between the pandemic and our internal state, there's so much unknown about the environment and the world that we live in, and what's next, and what's going to happen, and how long it's going to be, and you know, what's going to come after. It really is such a true reflection about what's happening in here around the unknown, you know, around where we're supposed to go next, and where we're meant to be led in this evolutionary experience that we're all in right now. And so really sinking into trusting the unknown and surrendering to not knowing. And actually, the word adventure is popping up, Joanna. You know, it's like having that, looking at that, at this field of the unknown as an adventure of trust and of relationship building with something that is much larger and more powerful, and really leading us back to our own home and our own power. So number 6 is, here what I see as number 6 is that there's this elevated emphasis on quality and connection and authenticity. And so quality, like the quality in which we speak, the quality in which we show up, the quality with which we create, the quality with which we communicate what we're creating, the quality with which we serve and sell. And connection is such a huge integral component to that, because the quality comes from how connected you are to your soul essence, to your soul's magic, to your genius, to your purpose, to your divine source. And the connection with you, between you and you, determines the quality within which you live and work moving forward. And your livelihood is such, it can be this beautiful representation of your connection and your quality, and the authenticity piece is, how you're choosing to show up so authentically from your core, not from a place of copycatting or mimicking somebody else's ideas or way of doing things. Even if it works really, really well for them, it does not mean that it's yours, because it's not. It does not mean that it will necessarily work for you. And I really believe that, I believe so much in co-creation, and in, when we start to connect with those who are meant to be in our vicinity and in our field, we start to co-creatively interact and engage with each other and spark one another's and ignite one another's geniuses and ignite one another's essences. So I might say something that really lands in your heart, and it sparks something and your essence is awakened. And there's a difference between that and copycatting, is what I'm trying to say. So this idea of co-creation is so key. Good to be here with you all. Very uplifting. Thank you, Julie, for sharing your love and truth. You're welcome. And so, this emphasis on quality and connection and authenticity, and those together, as you show up and create and communicate what you're creating from that place, you're amplifying your magnetic field, because when you come from that place, you're aligning with your soul's purpose, you're aligning with the divine, you're aligning with your genius. And when you're in alignment with that, you are flowing a really pure and clean energy. And when you're flowing in that pure and clean energy, your magnetic field is amplified, and it's very, your magnetic field is clear and clean. And from that perspective, when we look back at Soul Essential number 1, where I was talking about the new world of intuitive marketing, where when we market, there's got to be another word for marketing. I keep feeling that there's got to be another word for marketing. But when we put ourselves out there and communicate what it is we're creating from our souls, if we're doing it from a clear channel and the energy is clear and our magnetic field is wide, then that becomes the way that we reach the people that were meant to hear from us, work with us, be with us, and learn about themselves through our own evolution. So our magnetism, as it becomes clear and clean this way, is our best tool for marketing, above and beyond any formulaic tool for marketing. And for so many years, marketing has just been so much about this one linear way of thinking, and I'm really invested in broadening our thinking around marketing and really broadening and widening it out into the intuitive field that is, magnetic and larger than ourselves and connected and holds an essence that is so much more of higher quality than ever before. And again, paralleling that to the way that the planet is asking us to shift, the planet is asking us to live in a space of higher quality. The planet is asking us to shift in a higher place of consciousness, of raised awareness around, our impact on the planet. It's asking us to stop taking and stop consuming and start giving of ourselves, of our essential gifts. It is a broadcast, not marketing. Oh, I love that. Broadcast. Yeah, it's like your soul broadcast, and how you broadcast your essence is really what we're talking about here. Like a signal. Yeah, it is. It is like a signal, like this lighthouse that you are, and that you came here to be, and that we all came here to be. We're being called right now to shine our light, and be that lighthouse. Number 7 is, it is becoming more and more and more and more essential, and this segues into from the last one. It is to really hang on, it's coming. It is to really live and operate from this place of purity, but pure thought. And it's about raising our recognition of, awareness of, and dedication to mastering and beholding pure thought. And, when we think about our thoughts, come from beliefs that we've held in our cellular system for eons, right? And so when we think about our internal thoughts, that are words. Basically, it's our internal dialogue. These are all words we're telling ourselves, and how we're talking to ourselves, and how we talk to ourselves internally manifests in how we speak externally. So the language that we use is needing to become more pure, more of higher quality, and of higher holding or of like having a higher grade of essence inside the language that we speak, both internally and externally, because words have so much power, both internally and externally. So this soul essential that is really calling us forth is asking us to really start mastering that internal language, and therefore the representation of the internal language as it represents itself outwardly. We're being asked to speak more carefully to ourselves and to each other, and communicate more carefully and diligently and vigilantly and consciously to the planet and to the collective and with each other. And this mental mastery really is what it is, which is one of the pillars of that I've defined to be a part of the intuitive marketing mastery or intuitive entrepreneurship mastery is resonance. And resonance comes from this alignment with truth, this alignment with the essence, this alignment with that genius inner power that we all hold. And when we align really, really specifically with the core of our essence, then the words that are created, the language that is created from the heart, the language that is created from that deeper essence, becomes so much more potent and so much more powerful. And so that's a piece that I feel is super important, is that that is rising right now, is is intentionalizing our language and really mastering that mental dialogue that's going on inside of us, and doing that inner healing that is necessary. And that's number 8, is that healing the conditioning that we've had for so many years around fear-based living, fear-based working, fear-based parenting, fear-based relationship building, fear-based everything. And that is shifting big time. And again, in keeping with what we're seeing outwardly in the planet, and what we've seen in the old paradigm of business and marketing, it's been so fear-based that we need to really pay attention to and make it a priority to do our inner core healing and our inner core work around how we're talking to ourselves, because our internal thoughts are producing emotions. And when we are really, and when we're following that thread of, that unconscious belief system that produces a thought, usually unconscious, that produces an emotion. And when we follow that thread and we go down that rabbit hole, we are staying in that lower frequency vibration of living and working. So fear-based, staying in jobs. Yeah, absolutely. And I know there's going to be a lot of people who, and I've heard this from so many people lately, how grateful they feel that they've actually been laid off from their jobs, because they're finally getting away from the thing that they've hated for so long, or known that wasn't, that was leaving this gaping hole in their lives. And, And so it's like a lot of people are really redefining and really rethinking, like, what am I doing? What is my real purpose? And how can I discover what that purpose, what that essence, what that genius was, what that deeper calling is, and turn it into a livelihood that's actually going to be so purposeful and meaningful that I'm not going to have to feel like I have to, leave my work at the end of the day and, sigh a breath of relief because I'm done another day and live for the weekend. So this healing, in order for us to become emotionally resilient, and we want to become emotionally resilient during this time, and we're being given a huge opportunity to become emotionally resilient right now, so that we can step into that inner leadership, which is number 9, that we're called to step into right now. If we wish to rise, if we wish to move forward in a healthy and positive way, we need to, take the idea of inner leadership seriously. And what that means in terms of inner leadership is to really be taking personal responsibility for our part, personal responsibility for our gifts and our genius, and really owning and declaring and claiming and expressing those genius gifts that we actually came here to express. And the answer to what is my purpose on this planet, who am I, is I am the expression of my genius, of my blueprinted core level genius gifts. And so when we take personal responsibility to really express those gifts and share those gifts out into the world, then we're contributing to something much larger than ourselves. We're connecting to something much larger than ourselves, and we're really exercising this inner leadership and in trust of our gifts. And so, for so long, many people have been abandoning their soul gifts, abandoning the essence of who they really are, for the sake of, staying in a job that they didn't like, because they were afraid of leaving it, because of the fears around, not enoughness and not having enough and being enough, and just really caving to society's old paradigm, and that the old paradigm is on its way out. I really, really feel that it's on its way out, and it's a transition that's going to take time. However, I feel that my mission here is to lead those who are ready to start really taking personal responsibility and really shifting out of that fear-based operating system and into a higher level of consciousness, whatever that looks like. And so all of these pieces that I'm listing for you are the pieces that I feel are the most, number one, genuinely necessary for people, but also that are coming from my genius gifts. They're coming from my wisdom base. They're coming from who I am and my come from place. So where there is intersection between, someone who wants to really cultivate these essentials and my gifts, that's where we meet. And that's the beautiful dance that we're all in. And, when you identify your genius gifts and you find that intersection between your genius gifts and communicating your genius gifts with quality, connection, authenticity, clarity, purity, and those who hear you are ready for your gifts, then you're in this beautiful dance with the people that you're meant to serve in the world. Number 10 then is, and this is a big one actually, and there's so many layers to all of these. So I'm just kind of briefly going through them right now. But number 10 is redefining success, money, sales, business, and marketing. Like literally redefining this. And, I did a few years ago a fairly intensive workshop on redefining success, because there's so many layers around what does success actually really mean. And but all that to say that what we want to do is we want to recode our mode of operating, our MO, our frequency. We want to recode it back to the essence of who we are, and understanding success and money and sales and marketing and business in a brand new way is what reactivates the energy to start flowing again. And energy is when energy is flowing, abundance is flowing, and joy is flowing, and clarity is flowing, and contentment is flowing, and peace is flowing, and connection is flowing. And when everything is flowing, there is just an abundance of all that we ever needed. And so this idea in the old paradigm that success meant that, you have this and you have this and you have this and you have this, it really flips it on its head from having to actually being in very intimate relationship with success internally. So that's number 10, is redefining the meaning of all those things is really essential, because as long as we're connected to or associating our understanding and belief systems and placing our and keeping or holding on to the foundational belief system of what success and money and business and marketing and sales means, then we're being pulled into the old paradigm. And one of the things that I want to say is that as we transition into New World Livelihood, a new way of being an intuitive and soulful entrepreneur, or being in our work, livelihood can mean a few different things. But I know that it's moving into a real focus on entrepreneurship. But having said that, it is a transitioning from the old paradigm to the new paradigm. And I feel that this bridging between what we once knew and what is yet to come is really, really integral and paramount to finding our steps along that bridge and building each and every foundation piece along as we build the bridge to this new paradigm, and being gentle and patient with ourselves as we do that, because there's a lot of pieces, there's a lot of moving pieces, and those moving pieces have taken over our psyche for so many years that we're deconstructing a lot of this, and then we're reconstructing a new way of consciously being in the world. So that is it. Those are the 10. All right, does anyone have any comments? Let's just check in here and see. Yeah. Give me a heads up, or a hand, or a yes if let me know which of those things actually most resonated with you. That was a lot. I know it was a lot, but it just kind of it poured through me, and I wrote it out. And so here's the thing about allotness, is it's part of my genius. I download stuff so fast, and it comes, and I want to get it out. And so here's the thing, is each and every one of these essentials, I'll go through them again, and you can tell me which ones resonate the most. Letting go of old paradigms, number 1. Number 2, unlocking your genius, and therefore no more cookie cutter stuff. Number 3, growing your intuitive intelligence. Number 4, focusing on deeper, more meaningful purpose. Number 5, expanding our connection with divine source. Number 6, emphasis on quality, connection, and authenticity, and how we communicate what we're creating and magnetize. Number 7, pure thought and pure language. Number 8, inner leadership and taking personal responsibility, however that looks for you. Number 9, healing the conditioning around the fear of the old paradigm that we've been living in, this fear-based living and working for so long. And number 10, redefining success and money and business. And so redefining success really struck a chord. Seems obvious, but putting words to it makes it feel powerful. Yeah, absolutely, because words are power. Words are energy, right? And you're absolutely right. Putting words to it does it. Naming anything makes it real. And so this idea of redefining success is multi-layered. There's a lot of layers in there, and I want to encourage you to continue to do the inner core work in yourself, because the more you do the inner core work in yourself to redefine what success really means to you, you might peel a layer and have this beautiful insight and new understanding around what it means to you, and then another layer comes in, and now you've got another layer to unpeel, and you unpeel that one, and then another layer comes in. And so it really is about distilling and drilling down all of the layers within these 10. I mean, there's probably more, and these are just my suggested 10 for me that I'm putting out and sharing with you because they're so close to my heart. And just understanding that this is a process, and if your intention and your vision is upon the evolution of your life's work as a body of your soul's work, then you are moving in that direction, and therefore contributing from day one. With your intention, you're contributing to a better planet. And so all of these 10 have multiple layers, and that's why the other thing that I downloaded, that I realized as I was doing this, was that so many people reach out to me and ask me about this stuff, and about what's next for them on their journey, and about lots of things. And so what I'm doing is I am forming a monthly mentor in your pockets mastermind, so that each month, and it will roll from one month to the next, to the next, to the next, so people can stay for as many months as they want to. But for people to have a mentor in their pocket from month to month, and I am forming a portal for that, so that we can really deconstruct and peel through those layers, and we can really be focusing in on the pillars of intuitive entrepreneurship, which are intuitive and energy mastery, mental and emotional mastery, and dance with the strategy. So that is something that stay tuned for, because I'm going to be opening that up, and it will give people access to mentorship and coaching for month-long periods at a time to work on whatever is up and at whatever stage in their evolution and in their business and in their intuitive development and in their mental and emotional development that they're in at the moment, at the time. So I'm really, really excited about that, and I'll say more and give more details. If you're interested right now, just let me know. You can PM me anytime and I will give you details. I think all of these pieces will help me and us to build that bridge into the new world and be gentle and have patience with ourselves as we go forward. Yeah. I am finding myself needing to be patient with myself. And I think that we all, as a collective, need to have patience with ourselves. And I love that you picked up on the bridge metaphor, because humans connect and think in images and metaphors so often, and to have that sort of image about, like you are literally building a bridge, and to have a lot of patience and to know that each and every step as you move forward is contributing to the solidity and the foundation and the firmness of your bridge into higher, to your next phase in evolution, and therefore paralleled with the next phase of evolution of the planet, because we really just don't know, right? There's so much, so much flashing at us around what if and what could be and what might happen and what might not happen and all of that. And the only thing we can do, the only thing we're left with, is take a stand in our own inner leadership to do our work and be patient and gentle with ourselves as we do that, because there are so many layers. I need to let the old go and stop being concerned about it. Yeah. Big. It's big, right? I mean, that's a pretty tall order, right? Let the old go. The old, like how many years of your life? The old, how many years of conditioning? The old, how many years of being taught that this is the way? The how many years of beliefs have been, instilled in you during all those crystallizing moments in your life where you just, took them on and completely orchestrated a life based on the old beliefs and the old ways. So be gentle with yourself, Carrie, because it is. And I feel like letting the willingness and intention to let go of the old is, I'm just getting shivers right now as I see it, feels like the most sacred, the most highest order intention that we can have for ourselves, and therefore the world. And therefore, as we hold that intention in this hand here, and we hold the vision for the world that we want to live in here, and we hold the possibilities that are available as we bring all of the potential together and bring that desire for our higher potential into the forefront and really prioritize imagine what this world will be like when we choose to do our work, to do our internal work, and to release the old and to redefine, the new into the new, release the old and redefine into the new. Imagine the new world that we're creating as a collective and that we're actually leaving a legacy for our kids. I feel I've shed another layer. Feels like an exciting discovery. Oh, so good. I would love to hear about that, Carrie. I would really love to hear about what layer you've shed and what you're discovering. Because this is how we work together. This is how we come together to really co-create and to make magic. So thank you so much for joining, and I'm glad you did. And if you've been watching, and not commenting, that's totally fine. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you're watching the replay and you have any comments that you'd like to contribute, or just voice and give voice to, because words are very powerful, and naming what's on your heart and naming what's happening and what you're experiencing internally is part of the process and part of the path. So thank you for joining, everybody, and we will chat soon. Take care.